It is time once again for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Well, Al, I call this roller coaster season. We've had weather been up, it's been down, and everywhere in between. How are things looking as we look to the week ahead?
Well, Bryce, we did see some active weather this week. We had that system move through this last weekend that brought some severe weather to portions of extreme eastern Nebraska and then turned into tornadic activity to the southeast Des Moines. And unfortunately, loss of life was at least 7 folks in the Winterset area. We did see some decent moisture across the southern portion of the state, particularly south central, southeast, and east central Nebraska, anywhere from 2/10 to 3/10 of an inch, upwards up to an inch and a quarter in the heavier shower and thunderstorm activity. Then we followed up with that system that moved out Wednesday night into Thursday, brought snowfall to western Nebraska, particularly the southern panhandle, and skirted the southern part of the state. So the additional moisture was in the area of about 1/10 of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch liquid equivalent. We've seen that cold air start to depart from us, and now we're going to look at a warming trend, and it looks like we'll be pretty much dry for the next week before we turn our attention to another storm system coming in right around the 21st of the month. So let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store. First thing I'll draw your attention to is the cold air is now being shunted toward the Ohio River Valley. I'm going to start to see a warm up today. With the coolest temperatures will be in the northeast Nebraska, probably be in the low to mid 40s. We'll probably be pushing into the low to 50s in the southeast, and we'll maybe well into the upper 50s across the southwestern part of the state as the main snow activity moves to our east. Nothing really in the center part of the country. Now, as we go into Sunday, we see this trough digging through the southern stream and the northern stream as well to our north. So we may see a few degrees warming across the eastern part of the state, but I think primarily we'll be pretty much stuck in the 50s to the low 60s. Most of the major precipitation will remain to the north of us. That system in the southern stream starts to open up and form a fairly decent trough across the southern plains, giving some good moisture to the south of us. For our region, we have high pressure to the north, so we're basically going to have a northeast flow. So there may be a little bit of flurry activity as we go into Monday morning, and it'll keep our temperatures just slightly cooler than we've seen this weekend. Not too bad, but most of the precipitation will move to our east as we see low pressure over the Gulf of Mexico, essentially bringing moisture up into the southeastern United States. Low pressure at the surface in South Dakota is really not going to have any moisture to work with. The time we get to Wednesday, though, we start to see a flattening out of the jet stream, so that's going to bring us downsloping flow at the surface from the west. Should be a really nice day. I think we're going to see widespread 60s and 70s across the state, particularly across the southern 1/3 of the state. Once again, no precipitation in sight. Now, the time we get into Thursday, we start to see a little trough moving across the northern plains. That should cool us down about 5 to 10 degrees from the Wednesday highs. But again, with high pressure moving in and low pressure well to our south, there's just not a lot of moisture being moved up. So we just see a few sprinkles here across Nebraska. And even at this, I think that might be an overplay in terms of precipitation. On Friday, that system starts to move to the east. The ridge starts to build in. We'll bring some warmer temperatures in as we go into next weekend. But buyer beware, that storm in the Pacific Northwest really looks like it's going to move into our region as we get into the 21st. So the 8 to 14 day forecast is shoving the warmer air to our east. I think this is overplayed for us in terms of warmth. And in terms of precipitation, even though this is snowing drier than normal conditions, with that system coming in, I expect this to change dramatically over the next few days.